Well, good morning, friends. Today was an absolutely glorious day. Mum was talking to someone before we left, who told her that we had to go and see Roast Morn. So we jumped in the car, got breakfast at Robin's, and then drove back from Bayver to Deer Lake and then on to Grossmorn, Lobster Cove, and then finally Sally's Cove. I honestly could have just kept driving all day, but at a certain point, we had to get turned round to drive back to the festivities in Fleur de Lis that evening. So we drove from from Bayver, Deer Lake, Grossmorn, and we stopped in Grossmorn for some lunch and to wander around. It was quite touristy in Grossmorn, which was a nice change from Bayver because it is not touristy in Bayver at all. And we stopped for lunch in Grossmorn, which was not photogenic at all. I had my heart set on a moose burger, and the menu had a moose burger on it. Alas, they didn't have, and so I ended up with a moose platter, moose dinner, if you will. Two things of mashed potatoes, a scoop of mashed swede, some carrots, and some shredded moose meat that was then just slathered in gravy. And honestly, it was lackluster. I really apologize for that. Bianca's shrimps, I think, were also a little lackluster as well. So there we go. Then we had a little further drive through Grossmorn. We went and got some ice cream, stuck our toes in the sand, felt the ocean. Probably could have done with a swim in the ocean actually, but we'd forgotten to bring our swimming costumes. So there we are. That's what it is. Then we had a nice little drive up to Lobster Cove, which you will see later on, and the adorable little lighthouse at Lobster Cove. We joined a mini walking tour of the area where we learned that the lighthouse had only ever had 3 lighthouse keepers at Lobster Cove. One lived there for about 3 years, another was about 29, 30 years or so, and then the last gentleman who lived there for about 35 years or so. They were paid $500 a year and got a week's vacation where they could go moose hunting or take a break, any of that sort of thing. But the interesting thing was that while the lighthouse keeper was away, their wives would take over looking after the lighthouse. And one of the ladies that lived in the lighthouse, I believe they had about 7 children. So, being that the lighthouse was kept on at night, she changed her schedule and all 7 children's schedule to be asleep during the day and awake at night so that all of them could keep an eye on the lighthouse because she found going up into the lighthouse quite spooky on her own. So she made sure everyone was awake at the same time so she could keep her eyes on the kids as opposed to them being awake during the day and doing what they wanted and her being awake at night. So they all kept the same schedule. We also learned the different meanings of we learned about the different meanings of the flags on the raised flagpole that they indicate to sailors so that sailors and lighthouse attendants can communicate back and forth, like it's really stormy or don't dock here or we've got something wrong or any of those sorts of things. So there are different flag combinations mean different things, and there's a flag kind of for every letter in the alphabet, and certain letters have certain sentences attached to them. So that was fascinating. I do recommend looking up flag codes to communicate between boats and lighthouses. I would recommend that. We also learned that each lighthouse has its own distinct like shining pattern, if you will. So Lobster Cove's light is on for 2 seconds and off for 2 seconds, on for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds. Then the one further along, I believe, is on for 16 seconds and then off for 1. On for 16, off for 1. And there are about 4 total lighthouses along this coastway that communicate with boats at sea. I don't remember what the other 2 signals were like, but there was a board displaying them, so that was fun. Anyways, as I said before, every corner brought a new amazing view, and just as you thought it can't get any better, it somehow got better, and we just wanted to keep driving and driving and driving until we got to the very top of Newfoundland. But like I said, we also had to get back to see Lauren and start some of the festivities ready for the wedding the next day and be awake for no, not the wedding wasn't the next day. We had to help decorate for the wedding the next day, so we had to make sure we were back to assist with that. Again, apologies for the GoPro's sliding scenario, but the paper clips were the best we could do. So that is that. But enjoy the rest of today. The scenery is stunning. It's beautiful. I'll put some music in. If you want to mute my music and add your own music, please feel free to do so. It's worth watching, and the sky, the beautiful, beautiful blue sky. Just wanted to keep driving into it and see where you got to. All right, everyone, take care. Have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow.